I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, and we have here in the studio Small Town Gossip. And thanks so much for coming in today, Stephen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I wanted to, usually I ask artists to dig right in and play something for us right off of the bat. What are you going to do?
This is a song called High Winds and Hurricanes, and this is off of my second record called Changing of the Guard.
Okay, cool. This is Small Town Gossip on Acoustic Songs Live.
Somewhere inside street lights and window panes, I'm calling you. But deep in the eye of high winds and hurricanes, you'll pull me through. So now we say goodbye in the most dramatic way we have ever known. About the way we introduce, I gotta hear your voice singing right now. Well, somewhere between the sun and your front door, you are pulling me through. So things are getting redder, and I think it's time I better go show her what I'm worth. Knowing you know I'll try in the most emphatic way we have ever known. So no, darling, please, 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 oh, don't talk about the way we introduce. I gotta hear your voice singing right now. Da 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 da. Then please, 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 oh, don't talk about the way we introduce. I gotta hear your voice singing, no. Talk about the way we introduce. I gotta hear your voice singing right now. So don't let me down. So don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down.
All right. Small Town Gossip here on Acoustic Songs Live from WNJR Studios in Washington, PA. And if you're listening in, you can stream it live at WNJR.org or at 91.7 FM. That was really cool, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, very energetic. It just like woke me right up. I was ready to, I'm tapping my foot over here, jumping around. Yeah, good song to lead off with, you know? Yeah. So, Small Town Gossip, there's one person here with the guitar, and the band name, Small Town Gossip, is Stephen Hall. And so how did that come about? I guess the name of the band, and you obviously must tour with other folks, because I can hear some drums and other things in that song for sure.
Sure. So most of my tours take me, and I'm just by myself as a solo singer-songwriter. Originally, this was as I was writing my songs, and this started out as a band in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And it's moved on to where I've been able to just be touring, and so right now the most efficient way to do that is solo in my Impala, just me and the guitar.
Yeah.
A lot of my shows in North Carolina, I still have a full band, but there's no member. There aren't any other members. It's just whoever I'm hiring out at that time.
I got you.
Yeah. And so Small Town Gossip, I was raised in a really small town in North Carolina, and anyone from small towns know how sometimes you walk around and you feel like everyone knows your business,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like Cheers, everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
And then some. So that's just, it stemmed from a lyric. I'd written a lyric in a song, and I was going back through at some point. I was like, man, that would be a cool name. Way cooler than Stephen Hall performing at, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
So just been going with it for the last 3-4 years.
That's cool. And it is a cool name. And I did grow up in a small town here, in this small town, and I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works. But you've made it, out to L.A. from what I saw. You lived in L.A., so you've made the leap to the big town at some point in your life. So definitely changes your perspective when you do something like that, right?
Yeah, I moved out there last year, right around this time, and went right into a situation where I started working, and I have a lot of friends out there that I was in college with, so it actually was way easier than I thought it would be. The first night that I moved there was a reunion for the college I went to at this bar, and so I walk in and there are 20 to 40 folks that I'd walked around college campus with. So it was a lot easier than you think it would be. It was like, it was a small town Los Angeles, which is really absurd. No one would ever think that would be possible. But for some reason, for me, it was.
Where'd you go to school?
The University of North Carolina School of the Arts is in Winston-Salem.
Oh, okay.
Winston-Salem is kind of in between Greensboro and Asheville. Those
Gotcha.
are two other cities that you may be able to relate to. So it's a public-supported conservatory. So I was studying classical music there, classical singing.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Classical singing.
Yeah, so I was in a classical music program to pursue opera.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you have a very strong baritone, man. I mean, that's for sure. I'm like working that. I'm like, okay, I've got to work these knobs a little bit here. Yeah, but you've definitely got a great voice, man.
Thank you.
Projects,
So I studied for 2.5 years there, and I ended up leaving to pursue the folk singer-songwriter thing.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's the. I know people that classical musicians, and they have a gig and that's what they do, and I don't know what that road is like to be a classical opera singer, or how that would be, where do you go? I mean, do you go to Broadway then, or do you I guess where
it's intense. It's really intense, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of times folks don't think about the touring musician and what life is like on the road and what all that entails with bookings and managing yourself and all your PR and all that stuff. Not everyone thinks about that, and so in the opera world, it's kind of similar. Think of it as a professional athlete. So you're taking care of a muscle group, your vocal cords, 24/7.
Wow.
Just because of the style of singing. The style of singing is projecting, to anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 seat auditoriums, houses. And so
you got to take care of these at all times. And also, they're growing all the time. This is turning into a little health, vocal cord health session. But they grow, for guys, they grow till in your 30s. They're still growing.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the first growth is in between like age 10 and 13, when your voice drops.
Yeah.
There's another change in between 17 and 21-ish.
Wow.
And then there are changes all the way up till you're 35-ish.
Wow.
So it's really crazy. So you're studying this in college and young artist programs and grad school after that, and your voice isn't necessarily, you haven't reached your final product
fully
yet.
mature yet.
Yeah.
It's changed. You're going from singing maybe tenor to another range, maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was in school with guys who were baritones when we were 19, and they're now tenors.
Wow.
Same with women. Women, the maturing process is a little younger. In between, anywhere from 26 to 30s, whatever. It's all vague because everyone's different. Everybody's muscle groups are different. So think about, LeBron James at the end of a basketball game, like getting stretched out and whatever, icing, hot tub, whatever it is that they do. That's, your vocal cords deserve that much love.
Well, at least you learned the right way to do it, not the wrong way, like
Sure.
And a lot of folks, like myself included, where you really overdriving your vocal cords, and people can get nodes and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's pretty bad. But hey, so in case you just joined us, we have Small Town Gossip here, Stephen Hall, who's in the studio playing some music for us, and he was kind enough to make the trip from North Carolina. He's on tour right now, going through, I think you have a show in Mars tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that. Will you play another tune for us?
Yeah, let's do that. So,
Okay.
So this is a song that's going to be on my newest record, which is coming out in August. And so this is a song called "Till Our Souls Touch the Ground."
Well, I know you think I only call your name as town's closing down, and you may have a case against me, so I guess take me to trial, 'cause you're just a flask I keep hidden in my pocket. You comfort me when no one's around, and my greatest crutch distills through your heart. So purify me till our souls touch the ground. Well, you're the one they'll never know, my sweet Armenian secret. Just like my deep dark thoughts and my addictions, I'll keep you all to myself. 'Cause you're just a flask I keep hidden in my pocket. You comfort me when no one's around, and my greatest crutch distills through your heart. So purify me till our souls touch the ground. Taken for granted, you may feel, but that was never my intention. And if I never told you so, you make LA much more incredible. Yeah, you make LA much more incredible. 'Cause you're just a flask I keep hidden in my pocket. You comfort me when no one's around. And my greatest crutch distills through your heart. So purify me till our souls touch the ground. And purify me till our souls touch the ground.
Really cool. That's I really like the lyrics to that. That it's like love is whiskey kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, but that's a really cool way of describing it. And I can I can hear that southern North Carolina thing going on. That it's an area that it's such like rich in musical history, and I mean had its own style, like Piedmont blues. Is really what came out of there, and bluegrass and all kinds of there's and barbecue. I mean, we can't, like, we gotta that I lived in Kansas City for a while, and you know how they are about so when it comes to barbecue, there's all different kinds, and now the barbecue in North Carolina is more of a vinegar based, if I'm right.
There's tomato based and vinegar based.
Yeah.
Vinegar based is mainly on the eastern side of the state, on the coast. But yeah, it's all good. I don't hate against any barbecue. I want to try all of it. I want to try different styles, Texas barbecue. I'll try anything. Some of the best barbecue I ever had, I was like 13 at the time, so I think it was the best. Who knows? But it was down in near Daytona Beach in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And it was pit barbecue, and it was sliced pork, and it just sandwiches were incredible. Mm-hmm. That said, North Carolina barbecue is very, very near and dear to me.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's all different influences. I'm sure you can get down to Florida, they've got some of the island influences that kind of Jamaican jerk chicken that kind of makes its way and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool, But I had to bring that up because living in Kansas City was like, they have the big barbecue cook-off thing that goes on, once a year, and it's like everybody comes from miles around, and does it. But we were also talking before the show that you knew of Kernersville.
Absolutely.
That's near Winston-Salem.
It's a of Kernersville.
Oh, okay.
I definitely know of it. Of Kernersville.
The thing about Winston-Salem that I didn't realize is that it started as a Moravian community, the Moravian church.
Salem was a Moravian town, and Winston was the non-Moravian town right beside it.
My wife grew up in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, which is also a Moravian town.
Sure.
And I didn't know this when I started working with the engineer-producer we were talking about, and he had worked with Mitch Easter, and right immediately you said, "Oh, Mitch Easter's from Kernersville." Yeah.
His studio is there.
Yeah, and you recorded some of this record, the new one that you put out?
Yeah, my last record, Changing of the Guard, the first two tracks were all tracked there. So the drums and bass and the keys, and then we went back into vocals and my guitar elsewhere. But yeah, it's a really nice space. It's called the Fidelatorium.
Cool. This one that's coming out, your next one, was it also, did you do anything there?
No, this was in a house studio in Winston-Salem. The engineer friend of mine named Ryan Hugh. And so we did the Indiegogo route, raising money for it, Kickstarter, Pledge Music, those type of sites. And so I recorded it in December and a little bit of January, and it's being worked on right now. I'm going to be sending it off to get mastered in the next couple weeks.
Mixing, mastering, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be ready in August, early August.
And then in the meantime, you're already writing new stuff. That's how that goes. It's like you're releasing something and you're already thinking about, okay, what am I recording next?
Yeah,
it's really weird.
It's a funny process. When you see a movie, a lot of times you forget that that they've been working on it 2, 3, 5, 10 years. So that's the same thing with a record. You know, you put a record out and people, you know, you just automatically think in the present. And so as you're listening to something, you're like, oh yeah, this is right now. But actually, you know, some of the songs have been written 4 or 5 years ago, and the recordings were a year, 2 years ago when you went into the studio. So someone's listening to my next record in the present, in the now, in August, and I'll already be looking forward to the next project because these songs are already old in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's exciting in both ways. But it is kind of something we don't normally think about when we go see a movie or listening to a new record.
So tell me, what was your experience like dealing with the the crowdfunding aspect?
It's a very incredible, humbling, and stressful process. I did it for my first record in 2010 with my band at the time, and we raised at that point $8,000, I think, to do a record in-house and then send it out to be mixed and mastered and then pressed. And it's great. It's so incredible to see who comes to bat for you.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, people on my list that gave me $1,000 out of the blue, and you're just almost in tears. You're like, why? But they believe in you and what you're doing, and they want to see you succeed, and they want to be able to be a part of this with you. And I'll never, those people, the people who gave me $5 that I haven't talked to in 6 years, I'll never ever forget.
Yeah.
So it's just a really cool thing where you're able, as a listener, as a fan, and I've donated to to people's projects. Tons of bands and writers and filmmakers are doing this, and so the times I've donated to other projects, I've really felt. I mean, you see the end result, and you're like, I was a part of that in a way.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool when you have a deadline, and you're trying to raise a certain amount. And that can get stressful. You're just kind of sitting around twiddling your thumbs like, okay.
Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a healthy stress level. And, the end result is always really, really beautiful.
Yeah. And then the fulfillment process must be like, okay, what do I, you have to remember everything that you have to send and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But the alternative of how it used to be done, I guess was somebody put up money somewhere, and you couldn't really go into a bank and say, hey, I'd like to take out a loan because I want to make a record. Most of the time it was guys putting, or people putting, 3 or 4 credit cards, putting it on the. I remember reading that I think Joe Satriani's first record was all financed on credit cards, and the alternative being that this is more personal. People like, what's her name? Amanda. She took like the first $1 million Kickstarter she did. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head. And then Neil Young, doing with his Ponos music deal, where he wanted to raise, I think, 800,000 was his goal, and he did 5-7 million or something, where you have no idea, what's going to happen. And then there's there's always the humbling thing where you're like, I want to raise 25 or something, and then you're like, okay, I only made 4,
Yeah.
So then you go, okay, now I need to reevaluate,
Sure.
what I want to do. But I've heard, pro and con, because it always seems like there's somebody doing one, at some point.
Yeah, I know.
But hey, that's why we have so many channels on cable. Just turn the channel if you don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm all for it. I think we need to get back to that where artists are being supported by patronage. It's a patron of the arts. We have enough patronage of sports teams. They're really high ticket prices and really crappy commercials and stuff like that on TV. So so it's definitely the way I think going to stick around for a while. And hey, in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live from WNJR Studios in Washington, PA, and we have Small Town Gossip, and Mr. Stephen Hall is here playing some tunes for us today. And Stephen, you want to play us another song?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This
What
is
are you gonna do
another
for us?
newer song that'll be on my record in August. And the song is called More Than I Deserve.
Okay. This is Stephen Hall, More Than I Deserve on Acoustic Songs Live.
Be my Mary, for I'm your lamb. See my fleece white as snow. Well, anywhere you would have me, you know I would surely go. Well, could this be real? Can't see the way you feel. You have got me blind. You see, yes, I'm crazy, out of my head maybe, but please don't push rewind. You fight it and you fight it and you will not win. No, I'm in your head. You smile with all of your control, but now who's in my bed? Well, yes, I know my sins, so won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve. Yes, I know my sins, so won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve, or 7 more than I deserve. Well, Mama told me, sweet, sweet boy, it's yes, sir, and ma'am. You see, yes, have manners, but with you I sure can't help but wanna be bad. You tell me not to look, but I don't care. Stitch your little dress in your underwear. Dig it, babe, no, no. Yes, I know my sins, so won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve. Yes, I know my sins, so won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve, or 7 more than I deserve. Could this be real? Can't see the way you feel. You have got me blind. You see, yes, I'm crazy, out of my head maybe, but please don't push rewind. You fight it and you fight it and you will not win. No, I'm in your head. You smile with all of your control, now who's in my bed? Yes, I know my sins, and won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve. Yes, I know my sins, and won't you speak the word? And I know 7 minutes in heaven are 7 more than I deserve, or 7 more than I deserve, or 7 more than I deserve, or 7 more than I deserve.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I want to, sometimes I want to applaud, and I realize, yeah. That bluesy, jazzy kind of percussion kind of going on there.
Yeah.
With the finger picking too. We were talking about that before the show, that I was trying to get a handle on where your voice reminded me of someone else, but then you brought up the James Taylor thing about I think the guitar playing reminded me, that he's from North Carolina too, and it must have came out of that Piedmont, kind of thing where he came up with his own style.
Big time. Yeah, man. That guy. I mean, I've never heard anyone play exactly like him. Another guy that's I would kind of say that about is like Paul Simon. Those two guys and their finger picking styles are just so interesting, and it's just you can always tell when you're listening to a James Taylor track based on this kind of hybrid, almost kind of like comes out of the claw hammer. You know, it's this weird hybrid finger styling thing where sometimes he's just like moving his index finger and it's just keeping time, and his thumb is cranking out these bass notes.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting.
But a weird syncopated bass note.
Absolutely.
It's not like a alternating bass where, you know, he's playing like a I'm trying to think of not Mississippi, one of the guys that's known for that. But yeah, the he's got his own syncopation that is so weird to figure out what he's doing if you're trying to analyze it, like, yeah. and then he'll throw something into it like drop D and capo, and then you're really like all messed up because you're like, what is he doing there, you know? And yeah, I gave up trying to, you know, like figure it out.
Yeah, I touch a couple of his songs, but a lot there are some that people ask me about. I'm like, I don't even want to get into it because I wouldn't do it justice. It's
those jazz passing chord things that he throws in there too. Like he really has a very jazzy type of style too. So yeah. So we were talking about your family is in music. Both of your parents are teachers, right?
They are. My dad's now retired, but still dips into substitute teaching a lot. Mm-hmm. And my mom is a high school chorus teacher in North Carolina. My sister is a high school chorus teacher in North Carolina, and my brother-in-law is a high school band director in North Carolina.
So
that's how nerdy I am.
The family business, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So my sister and I grew up, you know, taking lessons, piano lessons early on, church handbells. Mm-hmm. I studied percussion from middle and high school on, and drums was actually my first instrument, was my instrument that I would tell you I was the most proficient at one time, and then started singing in chorus in high school and wanted to go check out a musical theater type route in college, and got into opera when I got to School of the Arts, and then I'd always been writing songs since about age 15, and then at some point in college I really was called back to this.
Cool.
So.
Oh, hey man, it's got to be something you're called to do. That's, you know, I mean, the funny thing about that though is, you know, you were raised in a family where music was all around, so it wasn't that unusual, I guess, for you to say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up, kind of thing. Well, yeah, I want to be a singer-songwriter.
Sure.
Oh, okay, I can understand. But if you grow up in a town where, you know, it's like, you know, the job you went to work in the mill, you know, and well, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a singer-songwriter. There's no money in that, you know, kind of, sure. You know, that's a lot of like stuff that I remember hearing so my ex-wife's family, he was my ex-father-in-law, he was a classically trained musician, and it was just like from 5 years old, that's what he did. Yeah. And he went and played in the symphony, and it was like, it wasn't unusual. It was just like, basically like you were going to be a doctor or a lawyer, and musicians and ministers, they all were in that same kind of, you know, field, you know, like in that sense that they were professionals, you know, in the arts, and that was considered to be kind of a noble thing to do, you know, rather than, you know, I'm going to go make widgets or something or whatever, you know.
Yeah. And design a new app.
Yeah. Well, you know, and that's cool too. Everybody has their own thing, but I think that we overemphasize now in our society, you know, with like everything revolves around money, and you have to make a decision about it. It's like, you know, are you going to go work on Wall Street, which. One guy that was on the show was actually like a former Wall Street guy, you know, that was still playing music, you know, and, you know, or you're going to do what's natural for you to do, you know, and I mean, that's, you know, God bless you, man, doing it, you know, you're out there playing, touring and making music. That's awesome. Keep the family legacy going.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this, I think it's getting, in my opinion, worse and worse. But a lot of times, public education right now, they're saying you have to know exactly what you want to do, and they put you on these tracks, to be an engineer or whatever, and they're pushing them back earlier and earlier. So now, when I was in high school, it was like, okay, around age 15, 16, start to figure out what you want to do, and there were kind of these tracks. Although I don't remember that there were. Maybe I was just clearly on the music one. I don't know. But now, 10 and 11-year-olds are being told, hey, what do you want to do? And it's like, I'm 10 years old, Let's relax and let's be a kid for a little bit and, just take general classes and take a lot of things, play sports, play music, read books. Don't look at your iPhone all the time.
Oh man, you just described like my home life in I've got a 17-year-old and a 9-year-old. And yeah, so that's the deal. What's going on there is and the thing is that they've cut funding so much. My daughter's high school, she was always talking about how the drama club never has enough money, and stuff like that. And the standardized testing that they have, that just kind of makes you learn everything by rote as opposed to creative problem solving, which is really, we need more creative problem solvers, more right-brained creative problem solvers rather than,
here's a test, fill in the bubble.
Yeah, or, we need engineers and we need accountants, but we also need people that can solve things creatively and think, it's a cliche, think outside the box, but, never even get in the box.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't even get out of the box once you're in it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I could go on for a long time about that, But at least your parents, that encouragement, and know as teachers, what it's like, to have to deal with that stuff, and negotiating that sometimes with the school district is a little strange, Your kid's really good at maths, so they put them in math classes, and they're gonna like, oh well, you're gonna work in computers, or you're gonna be an engineer, or you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, and that pays really good money, blah blah blah,
right.
So you need to go down this path, and it's like, well, maybe I want to be a video game designer. Maybe I want to go work at Hollywood and work. There's so many different other options that are out there that
Or you can still make good money.
Yeah.
People just don't think about the ways to get there.
And they always put that first, though. And I think that if you are passionate about whatever you're passionate about, if you have a passion for it, you're going to be able to support yourself in America. I mean, in some way.
Yeah.
We create our own drama. We have first world problems.
Absolutely.
When we say like, trying to decide what guitar I'm going to use tonight to play. That's a first world problem. Yeah. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but that's cool. And you wanna play another tune?
Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And your new record, you say, is you have a time? This is released this summer, so
In August,
August?
Early August.
Okay, cool. You're gonna have to let us know and send us a copy.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll do a release show in North Carolina, and then I'll start touring towards the West Coast, and tour the West Coast until the holidays, and come back to North Carolina probably around Thanksgiving. And
Okay, well, reach out to me. Yeah.
okay, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is a song called "Balance in the Sky," and this is on my old record called "Changing of the Guard," Small Town Gossip. "Changing of the Guard," and this song is about Philippe Petit. Philippe Petit is a Frenchman, and in 1974, he high wire walked in between the two World Trade Center buildings.
Oh yeah, okay.
So there's this documentary about this feat called "Man on Wire."
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it's still on Netflix. Or,
Yeah.
however you would like to view it. It's an incredible documentary about this guy, and so I wrote a song just about his story leading up to this event. He's still alive today. And it's just an incredible thing. You know, we were talking about passions just a second ago, and to think about someone who really pursued his passion and realized what it was. And, you know, he saw the Twin Towers on the cover of Time magazine. And at that time, you know, they had been constructing them for years, but the top floors weren't even done yet on the interior. So they put whatever Time issue it was, and he saw it, and he said, I'm going to high wire walk in between those.
Wow.
And so it's just really an incredible story. No harness, no safety net, no nothing. A quarter of a mile high.
Wow.
It's just pretty crazy. And there's a French phrase that I just imagine him up there in the morning, tightrope walking in between these two gigantic buildings and just thinking, c'est moi, which is, this is me. You know, it's me. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is my life, and this is my love and my passion. So this is Balance in the Sky off of Changing of the Guard.
I'm a runaway looking for a dream to steal. My spirit's got me balancing on my heel. I learned the tricks of the trade with great ease. When I find my stage, I will never leave. C'est moi. There stand two sisters, look 'em in their eyes. To get a closer look, I gotta touch that sky. They stand with courage, power, and they welcome me. I don't mind if I do, like my lips with me. C'est moi. Paris to Sydney to NYC. If it's such a crime, come on up, arrest me. And don't you tell me you're afraid. Oh, why, oh, why? Lover, won't you join me? Well, as I balance in the sky. This is a drug that I can get hooked on. Walking with God just after dawn. Give me your hand, I'll grip my toes. 'Cause a quarter of a mile below stand those who let their dreams go. Paris to Sydney to NYC. If it's such a crime, come on up, arrest me. And don't you tell me you're afraid. Why, oh why? Lover, won't you join me? Well, as I balance in the sky. As I balance in the sky. I'm a runaway looking for a dream to steal. My spirit's got me balancing on my heels. The rope is my highway, my feet are my wheels. And art is life without which I go.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Cool, man. That's a really cool song. I noticed you brought out the shorty capo for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get that dadgad tuning without having to tune down.
Yeah,
So.
I remember the first time somebody showed me that at a open mic, and I was like, "What is that thing you have on there?" And it's like, "Oh, okay."
It's pretty cool.
So you get that suspended chord. So yeah, so that like now I can play. What was it? The Beatles tune with one finger. You know.
Yeah.
Norwegian wood.
Yeah,
It's like the one Norwegian wood with one finger. It's like, wow, it opens up some possibilities. So you're a big documentary fan, I can tell. Like, you're just
We've been talking about docs earlier, weren't we?
yeah, that's my Netflix queue. Pretty much is just full of music and documentaries. And my family actually got so fed up with me that they get their movies like somewhere, streaming on Netflix, because I was just filled the queue with documentaries and music stuff, music documentaries, rockumentaries, and they gave up. So we were talking about the Sound City documentary and the was it 20 feet?
20 Feet from Stardom.
Yeah.
It's about backup singers.
Yeah, I could just watch documentaries like all the time.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TV shows on Netflix, old TV shows, and then documentaries. I'm a huge sports fan too, so I've been going through all the ESPN 30 for 30s.
Oh, okay.
So you watch all these, about like the Michigan basketball team, the Fab Five that Jalen Rose was on. All these different sports stories. So I love, documentaries. Learning about stuff is important. So
yeah, I think that's the cool part about the internet. That's the cool part. The other thing is like everything's not true.
Yeah. When your grandmother asks you to Google something on your phone, that there is a good part to the internet.
Yeah.
She's asking you to look up something on NPR or whatever.
Yeah. And that's why I worked in the IT industry for years, and so I end up fixing everybody's computer. So that's on my plate today. Fix everybody's computer.
Right.
And my mom's probably listening right now, like, okay, you're coming to fix my computer. So the website is smalltowngossip.com.
Small Town Gossip Music.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Smalltowngossipmusic.com. And you are playing tomorrow at the brewery in Mars, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Mars Brew House, which actually it's more of a coffee house venue.
Oh, brew house.
Oh,
Okay.
So coffee brew.
Oh, coffee brew. Okay.
Either way, it'll be good.
That's
so
where I'm
beer
in.
or coffee, it'll be lovely.
I gotcha.
But yeah, that's a early morning show in Mars at the Mars Brew House at 10 a.m.
Okay.
That'll be a nice little event at that coffee house type venue.
Cool.
And so smalltowngossipmusic.com. If I could, I'd say this at my shows a lot.
One thing that helps indie artists like myself is our social media presence, obviously.
So one thing that people wouldn't necessarily think about is that when we reach out to booking agents or record labels or managers or anyone that can help us in our careers, a lot of times they go and look at your website, they see how much touring you're doing.
And then they also look at those like Facebook likes, Twitter likes, Twitter follows, whatever, all that stuff. So one thing I always tell people at shows is that if you could do one thing for me today, it would be to search Small Town Gossip on Facebook and just click that like button. Mm-hmm. There's a follow button beside it if you really need to. Click that unfollow button. But just the like is something that really matters to indie artists such as myself. And
you have a Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter is Small Town Music. Facebook's facebook.com/smalltowngossip. Instagram is just like the website. If you go to the website, you can find all of those on the social side of the website.
So how have you found that has helped you, in as an artist, like the PR side of things? It's always I use it, I have it, and I'm still trying to determine, how, it helps in terms of I can get insights into, certain things. But do you find that you'll go play a gig somewhere and somebody will say, "Oh, I saw you on Twitter," or "I saw you on Facebook," or that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've had a couple cool instances. A lot of times a venue will promote also. So a lot of times folks they're following the venue that they go to all the time, and they don't know me yet, and so they see, oh, cool, on Thursday, Small Town Gossip is here. So then they may click on my music and then decide to come to the show. I've had that happen one time. One time, this was the coolest thing, and probably will never ever happen again for a long time. But I had a woman just all of a sudden shout out to asking me to play a certain song
on Twitter.
At the show.
Oh, okay.
At the show. So I'm there, and I have a song called Wolf on Changing of the Guard. And so just out of nowhere, she just says, "Hey, will you play Wolf?" And I looked at her, I was like, yeah. I was like, "Do you know this song?" And she said, "Well, I was listening to it earlier this morning." So that's one instance where she saw my website through the venue. They're playing tonight, so she checked out the music. But just one of those random things, I'm in a town where I don't know anyone. And so someone says, "Hey, play this song that you wrote," that, that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
But for the likes, if you're reaching out to a booking agent or a manager or a venue and they click on your website, how much faith are they going to have in you if you have, 500 Facebook likes, or the person beside you that's trying to book the same date has 6,000 Facebook likes?
Yeah.
So that kind of thing matters, and so it's a thing. That's the age that we're in now.
Yep. I notice it a lot with the Acoustic Songs Twitter account, where I'll get a lot of singer-songwriters that start following.
Absolutely.
And then they, that usually is like, "Hey, I checked out," and it leads into something.
Mm-hmm.
But as an artist, I was just wondering, because sometimes, I don't know if it's, like the law of diminishing returns. I don't know. The time that I spend doing that, if it, goes and brings more people to listen to the music. So yeah, it's a strange world we're in now. It's still like, not defined yet as far as, PR, CD sales, online sales, all this kind of stuff is really in a flux right now. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting to see where it all goes.
Yeah, and I think for somebody like me at this point, those are things that, why wouldn't you do it at this point? If I can take the time to get on Twitter mindlessly with my phone and just be like shooting out promos and whatever while I'm, about to go to bed, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of those things, do it until it seems like it's not working.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to keep things interesting, I mean, that's, and I get a lot of follows that I look at. I'm like, "You're not a real person. I know you're not a real person. Why are you following me?" I mean, I'm not going to sit there and block every unreal person, but it's like, all right, I get it, Anyway, we've been listening to Small Town Gossip. Stephen Hall here in the studio, and Stephen, we got enough time for probably take us out with a song if you want to do something, and go check him out tomorrow in Mars, PA. If you guys know where that is, it's in North Hills, near Cranberry, east of Cranberry, and Mars Brew House. We believe it's a coffee shop.
Yeah, it is.
It must be, because it's what time is the gig?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yeah,
so you're doing a morning gig, and
Absolutely.
it's Good Friday, Easter weekend, and everybody's probably has a long weekend, and go relax, have some coffee, check out. Really enjoyed having you on the show. It's been fun, man. I really like your stuff. It's I can't wait to hear the full CD. So
Yeah.
I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, and next week we will be. Let's see, I believe we have the Squirrel Hillbillies coming in next week, and they have a new release here locally in Pittsburgh. And check us out at acousticSongs.com and WNJR.org and smalltowngossipmusic.com. And Steve, what are you going to play for us now?
So this is my tour takes me back to North Carolina in a couple days. So this is a song called "Sing Me Home." It'll be on my new record.
I'd be lined for glamour and fame, leaving Caroline in my dust. And these desert trails of stardom show on my way. Please sing on my way. I'm on my way. Sing on my way. Please sing on my way. Please sing on my way. I'm on my way. Sing on my way. Please sing on my way. Please sing on my way. Love, come sing me home. Love, come sing me home. 3,000 miles, my pretty, 3,000 too many. Love, come sing me home. Now, love, come sing me home. Love, come sing me home. Sing me soft, sing me loud, and I'll aim to make you proud. Love, come sing me home. Love, come sing me home. Love, come sing me home.
Awesome. I bet you did you get everybody in the family, like the full choir going on?
On that track, my sister singing harmonies.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really cool. So again, this is Acoustic Songs Live, and join us next Friday at 1 p.m. To hear the Squirrel Hillbillies. And thank you very much, Stephen, Small Town Gossip, for being here.
Yeah,
and,
thanks.
We'll see you next week. This is WNJR in Washington, Pennsylvania.